Khalid, Hassan, who pops up. He says, I've got a group. I got the best way. Make bay'ah to me and follow my way. No. There is a hadith narrated by Hudhayfa ibn al-Yaman. He said, the people used to ask Allah's messenger about the good, but I used to ask him about the evil, lest I should be overtaken by it. This hadith is in Sahih Bukhari, volume 9. So I said, O Messenger of Allah, we are living in ignorance and in a bad atmosphere. Then Allah brought us this good, Islam. Will there be any evil after this good? And he said, yes. I said, will there be any good after that evil? He replied, yes, but it will be tainted. I asked, what will be its taint? He replied, there will be some people who will guide others not according to my tradition. You will approve of some of their deeds and disapprove of others. And I asked, will there be evil after that good? And he replied, yes. There will be some people calling at the gates of hell, and whoever will respond to their call will be thrown into the hellfire. And I asked, O Messenger of Allah, will you describe them to us? He said, they will be from our own people and will speak our language. I said, what do you order me to do if such a state should take place in my lifetime? He said, stick to the Jama'ah, the main group of Muslims, and their Imam. Who is that? The ruler, the Khalifa, Amirul Mu'mineen. So I said, and if there is neither a group of Muslims, Muslims are all scattered up, splintered up into all these different countries with nationalities and everything else, nor an Imam, a Khalifa, to whom all of the Muslims can rally. He said then, فَاعْتَزِلْ تِلْكَ الْفِرَقَ كُلَّهَا. Then turn away from all of these sects, even if you have to bite the roots of a tree till death overtakes you while you're in that state. This is the guidance. This is the statement of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What is this telling us in practical terms? It's telling us not to commit ourselves to any organization which seeks to divide itself from the mass of Muslims. This is what it's telling us. It's not telling us don't organize, don't try to do things in an organized way. This is the Discover Islam Center here. You know, don't stand up and say, hey, we need to close down this center now, you guys are this, and you know, don't do anything. No, this is not a group seeking to divide itself from Muslims. I am the director. I'm not calling people to make bay'ah to me. No, okay? This is just a means of organizing dawah activities. We come, we go, I come, other people can come. You know, this is not, it is just an organization to try to do things in an organized way. That's all. But where that organization transforms itself into a movement, where you now have a leader who calls people to give the oath of allegiance to him, where now you're going to follow, and then you start to look at people who are not a part of your group with the what they call the us and them mentality. You know, the us and them mentality? If you're not with us, then you're against us. Right? That looking at people with doubt, because what we're on, this is the right thing. Anybody who's not with us, making the bay'ah along with us, they are off. They're misguided. Right? And you'll hear that in ignorance. You have some people who say, when they do their Islamic work, they call it fi sabilillah, the path of Allah. We're on the path of Allah. So you might be going to make jihad, and they will ask you, have you gone out fi sabilillah? So I'm going to make jihad. No, I said, did you go out for 40 days? I mean, hey, you know, they have turned 40 days now into fi sabilillah. If you're not doing these 40, you're not fi sabilillah. This is misguidance. This is misguidance. The way of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his companions, that is the way. What they understood fi sabilillah to be, that is fi sabilillah. The way in which they conducted da'wah, conveying the word of Allah to the people, the non-Muslims, the people in their communities, people outside the community, that is the way to do it. And any other way is doomed to failure. Failure, not necessarily meaning they will have few followers, because an organization may have millions and millions of followers. They may be very huge and but is the issue one of numbers? If the issue were one of numbers, then we would have to say Muslims are astray. Right? Because they are not the majority on the earth. Some people will ask, since Islam is the right way, why aren't the most of human beings Muslims? Right? They can't argue from that point of view. If most of the Muslims are going to the graves and praying to the saints, and only you guys, Wahhabis, Ali Hadith, any other, what they consider to be a dirty name they can throw on you, right? You don't want to go to these the shrines, you don't want to honor the saints. Everybody else is doing it. If the issue were numbers, then we'd have to say they are right. Right? So the issue is not the issue of numbers. It's never been an issue of numbers. The issue is concept. If the concept is correct, even if only one person is following it, as Allah referred to Prophet Ibrahim as a ummah, all by himself. The whole of his people, everybody were into idol worship, but he alone was off. And he was right. So it is important for us to consider the way of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, that way was one way. There are no two ways about it. Of course, within that way, there may be variation in the sense that in prayer, one may raise one's hands to the ears, or one may raise one's hands shoulder height. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did both. So within that way, there is variation. And wherever Prophet ﷺ has given us variation, we are free to follow any of the variants. But in the variation, there is still one way, because even though we may be following some of the variants, each one of those variants represent a part of that way. So, my brothers and sisters, let us reflect on how much or to what degree we are in fact following that way, knowing that it is the only way to Allah. It is the only way to success. It is the only way to paradise. Inshallah, that is what I wanted to share with you this evening. If you have any questions now, we can look at your questions, and hopefully the questions will be on the topic, where we can further elucidate that way, we can further reflect on that way.